One of the hardest projects that students do is putting together a PowerPoint or a Keynote if you use a Mac. And this video is going to give you some really good pointers and some requirements for if you are putting together a PowerPoint for a presentation or if you're doing professional development. So here are some rules for putting together a PowerPoint or a Keynote. I'm just going to use PowerPoint as generic. So the first thing that you have to do is use text and visuals. So you want to use photographs or your work samples. You want to use really vivid visuals, or else why do a PowerPoint? So gather those photographs that you've been taking, the videos that you've been taking. You can use screenshots from a video, but that's what you want to use. Okay, now here are some rules for a PowerPoint. Some people say that you should only have 7 lines per slide and 7 words on those lines. That's not a lot of words. You know what other people say? Only 5 words per slide. That's what I try to aim for. You want to be the one doing the talking. You don't want the words just sitting up on a slide like this. You do not want this on a PowerPoint. So if you are starting to write this on your PowerPoint, take it away. Instead, you're going to have to add audio or a very detailed script in the notes or on a separate piece of paper. But you cannot have a lot of text on a presentation because people don't want to look at it. They want to hear you talk. The other thing is you want your audience to participate. So somewhere during your presentation or during your workshop, whatever you're doing, in your PowerPoint, you want to have people do something, either turn and talk to somebody, or if it's a workshop, stop and this is what you're going to do. But you want to have some kind of participation within your PowerPoint. All right, graphics. Please, please do not use these cartoon things. Please, you don't want that. You want to use your actual data. Use the data that you have and describe it. So here's the other thing that people do is they put in their data, but it's just sitting there. You need to describe why it's there, just like you would if you were writing a text paper. The other thing, and this is just something to think about, is use consistent fonts throughout your whole presentation. And don't use real cutesy transitions. Stick with one transition and use it through the entire PowerPoint. So the thing that's important for this particular project, though, is that you need to make connections to the literature that you read. You have to do that because this is your master's project. So here's an example for how you can do that. Let's say I'm writing about small group revision experiences. Well, I have my citation here, but then in my audio or in my notes, I'm going to talk about why that is important, what that connection is between the data that I collected. So what you need to do when you create these kinds of presentations is make them very clear, very concise, and very complete. But you want to be the one talking. You don't want the text to be sitting there on your PowerPoint.